This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Time being 4:47. I'd like to call this meeting of October 30th, 2025 to order. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. Great. So we're going to start right off with swearing in. So if I could have the chief come up, and Selectman Hansen's going to take this over. We'll be swearing in Edgar Maldonado. Right, Edgar, why don't you come on up? And right in between the two flags.
Residents of the town of Tilton in the county of Belmont, and the state of New Hampshire. Whereas there is a vacancy in the position of a full-time police officer in the town of Tilton, and whereas we, the subscribers, have confidence in your ability and integrity to perform the duties of said office, do hereby appoint you, Edgar Maldonado, to the position of full-time police officer for the town of Tilton, which shall be effective as of October 24th, 2025. And whereas upon your taking the oath of office and having this appointment and the certificate of said oath of office recorded by the Tilton Town Clerk, you shall have the powers, perform the duties, and be subject to the liability of such office until another person shall be chosen and qualified in your stead. I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. Given under our hands on this 30th day of October in the year of our Lord 2025. I, Edgar Maldonado, do solemnly swear.
I, Edgar Maldonado.
That I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me as a full-time police officer. All right. Faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent on me as a full-time police officer for the town of Tilton, New Hampshire, according to the best of my abilities, agreeably to the rules and regulations of the United States Constitution and the laws of the state of New Hampshire. So help me God.
All right. All right, we're going to take a minute, so we'll grab some pictures. Have the PD come on up. And anybody else that would like to?
In the way.
Seen a few. Everybody? All right. All right, congratulations again, Edgar.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Best of luck to you. All right, thank you, Tilton PD. Stay safe out there.
Ouch. Happy.
Okay. So let us continue. We're going to start with some announcements. The townwide Halloween hours this Friday are from 4 to 7 p.m. So we want to make sure everybody stays safe out there and have lots of fun. Next, we have the Tilton Northfield Samerton Christmas Fund applications are being accepted by all 3 town halls and are due by November 22nd. Gifts and food will be delivered on December 20th. If you have any questions, please call or email Heather Thibodeau, whose information can be found on our website. Moving into donations, we have a couple donations this evening. The Senior Center donations, $100 for ink and paper from Charlene Sargent and Terry Ann Roy. So thank you very much. Another one for $50 cash from Wednesday Night Group. We appreciate that, everybody from the Wednesday Night Group. So thank you very much.
Motion, we accept the donations for the senior center.
Second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Right. Move right into review of the 10/16/2025 meeting minutes. I'm going to tell you, Tim, those were not the most fun meeting minutes to read through. Just saying. I personally did not see anything, so I don't know if there's anything that was missed by
I was
me.
not there. I tried to, but
Did you get a chance to review the minutes?
just now,
Okay.
first time seeing them.
Anything, Catherine? Anything,
No,
Pat?
I'm good.
You see any?
Glad to know it wasn't just me then. I couldn't
Yeah.
have that audio.
I did not see anything personally. Okay. So I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of October 16th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, we have a second as well. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Standing because I was not there.
Okay, so we have 3 yeses and 1 abstention. Right?
Well, you tried to be.
I did try.
You did try to. Okay. Finance Director, you are up.
If you turn to the Finance tab in your binders, that's where my report is. The first item refers to an employee-funded benefit. Each year, the IRS makes modifications to the FSA limits, which is the flexible spending accounts. And this is entirely 100% contribution from the employee. And we're requesting that we continue to put it to the maximum amount, which for 2026 is $3,400 for the health FSA and $7,500 for the dependent care FSA, and to increase the carryover, which was $660 to $680. And again, they are 100% paid for by the employees. But we do need a motion for that because we do have to let Health Trust know of the decision.
I move that we increase the flexible spending account to maximum 2026 IRS limits. For health FSA, the maximum limit is $3,400. In dependent care FSA, the limit is $7,500, and the increase, the carryover to $680. These FSAs are 100% paid by the employees.
I'll second. Any discussion?
Can you explain what, I don't understand why there's a carryover for this. If you're gonna deposit into these, why would you need to carry it over?
What the IRS allows is that if you have an amount left over at the end of the year, you can carry over a certain amount into the new year so you don't lose it. So in other words, if you put in $10 a week over the course of the year, but you only used half, you could carry over your balance into the new year. Otherwise, you lose it.
So the carryover is only specifically for these accounts?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion passes.
Great, thank you. The next item is relative to tax rate setting. So unfortunately, we're ready, but not everyone else is ready. There's some new personnel at Lockmere Village Water District. I've met with them and I believe we've got them all set, but we're waiting on, last I knew we were waiting on Tilton Northfield Water District in Belknap County. And, but I can tell you for the town portion that we're looking at about a 21-cent decrease or 5.7% reduction from our local town portion of the rate. And that's primarily due to the increase in our equalized value as well as additional revenues, unanticipated revenues we received in 25. So the combination of those two is going to help us with the local rate. And that 21 cents in terms of looking at from year to year, last year we used $400,000 of fund balance. This year, the 21-cent reduction, while still an estimate until it's set, doesn't use any fund balance. If we were to use $200,000 of fund balance to reduce the tax, it'd be about another 18 cents. So we have some options available. And I have been working on a pro forma, looking at the end of the year where we're going to end up. And it looks as though we should have the ability to reduce taxes or use the money otherwise, about $200,000 worth at a minimum. So I'm still working on that to get a better look at it. We've got 2 months left, and there are some things that are still looming out there, and whether or not they come through or not, we'll just have to see. But the bottom line is we're going to be lower than last year. And I would hope that by the 13th, we'd be able to set the tax rate. We're just dependent on the other entities. And they're for some reason, Belknap is behind, and that's really unusual for the county. So that's where we are currently on tax rate setting. We do need to, before the end of the year, select electricity supply rates as well as gas supply rates. And I was hoping to have some more quotes for this meeting so we could really take a closer look with other vendors. But right now we're looking at about 10.5 cents per kilowatt hour is what we're looking at for supply. And that's still a significant increase over what we had. We were at 8.2 cents prior to that. So in any case, there's nothing to be done at this time, but I hope by the next meeting I'll have at least 3 or 4 quotes. And then once we have kind of a framework by which the board is willing to accept certain rates, then we can go back and see if we can beat them up a little further and get a little bit better rate. But electricity is expensive, unfortunately, in New Hampshire. So outside of that, in your binders, there is a update for the 2026 budget, and that is updated with all the information for the new officer. And there were a few other minor changes to it. We have sent out the RFP for janitorial services, and we do have one company that's interested in bidding. So I'm hopeful that by your next meeting, we'll have some numbers, maybe from more than one. And outside of that, the fact that we're anticipating to have some money left over I am looking through the budget to see where we can encumber monies. And certainly in the land use area, that's an area that there was some significant increases. But in order to encumber the money, we have to have some type of contract or purchase order or some legal obligation that we have to pay that money. And that may be more difficult to do for the services that we're looking for. So but it is one of the things that I'm looking at, and I'm trying to come up with a list with the department heads so that we can have the board evaluate what we want to try to use this year's tax money that's already been raised and appropriated and defray some of the 26 budget increase, which is right now at about 5.8% increase. The budget committee has started voting on the budget for the outside agencies. And in the budget detail that you have, you'll see that they voted on two of the outside agencies so far. One they funded and one they did not. And I also provided the board with a listing of the dates and the sessions where they're reviewing the outside agencies. If either you want to attend or if you want to watch the video and listen to the discussion at some future point in time. So other than that, there are a lot of open items still working on, and we were a little short-staffed this week, but we're getting through things, and that's it for me, unless you have any questions for me.
I do. Where did some of the unanticipated income come from?
So some of that was the what would be considered for us miscellaneous revenue. So that was the sale of the Concord Cooperative Regional Solid Waste Facility that the town received its portion of for about $56,000 and change. And then we also had higher payment in lieu of taxes for the Lockmere Dam. And we also had some additional, kind of across the board, had additional increases in things. And I did, with the review of for Department of Revenue Administration, I increased our revenues anticipating some portion of sales of town property before the end of the year, but a very small amount compared to what's listed currently. I think I only budgeted about 20 or 25% of what we have listed.
And did you mention that two outside agencies were voted on by the budget committee?
Yes. So CASA was one, and the other was, I believe, Franklin Visiting Nurses. And they zeroed out CASA, and they funded Franklin Visiting Nurses in its entirety.
Do you know when that was done?
That was the meeting before last night's meeting. And let's see, it is on page 12 of your budget detail, which is probably a couple of items behind my report.
Okay.
In the past, they had reduced Franklin Visiting Nurses, but then at town meeting, it would get raised back up again. And they decided that they got the message and they decided just to go ahead and fund what was requested. And then because CASA was not funded last year, it follows below where the budget was, along with some other items that weren't funded. And the budget committee had zeroed that out, and also Lakes Region Mental Health Center.
Thank you.
So there were actually three that were voted on.
Questions for?
Are we going to talk later about the properties?
Yes, yeah, I have information on the properties. There are multiple prospective buyers, so it would most likely be a non-public discussion because of that.
Great. Move into Selectmen reports. Start with Selectman Constantino.
Today was seniors helping seniors with the Tilton School. This is probably almost close to 30 years they've been doing this. Groups of teachers in groups of, I think we had 12 different groups this year, and a group going to the senior center from Tilton and Northfield. They did several different tasks, not just raking leaves up, but also trying to help out in the different assorted ways in the yard. So I put a shout out to Julie Caldwell, who's been helping me now for about 16 years doing it. Do a good job. And thank you to the DPW. So go around the next day or the day after that and pick up the trash, both Northfield and Tilton. After that, Halloween was downtown. Trick or treat was, I would say, a great success. I was the only one at my table, and I usually judge along, and I've done it for a long, long time, an awful long time. And I usually judge the children's parade. The Selectmen have done this, started out doing the costume parade for its inception. And gosh, Joe Jessamine has done it forever with me, and John. And of course, they're no longer with us. So we either need to take up the slack, or we need to allow young kids to take it over, one or the other, because I'm not young anymore. So I'll need a nice, long, detailed list of who, what, where, and why. You know, thank you to the Napoli family, because they donate tons of Happy Meal cards and, you know, ice cream cones to give out to the children along the way. And you know, there's a process to get them and all that kind of stuff. But it fun to do, but it's a long and arduous night, and it's cool in the fall. And just like, you know, last year I gave up the Christmas parade because of those reasons. Your bones get cold. So that kind of night. So
I unfortunately
the
could
young
not make it
guys,
that night.
I gotta,
As well.
you either we step up or we allow, you know, Deidre, who does the trunk or treat part of it, which the Rotary gives gifts. And there's 3 different sections to this whole evening, which has morphed into this beautiful community event. It's just wonderful to see. It just is. The Rotary gives the prizes for the trunk or treat, and the Selectmen give the prizes for the costume, and the chief gets the prizes for the businesses that dress up to give the candies along the way. And it makes a great community thing. So we got to think more on this, because, you know, got to come up with somebody. So it is what it is. It's the way it is. My official retirement notice for Halloween. And that's it for me, other than non-public.
Selectman Hanson? All right.
I just had a question regarding, again, the town property discussion that happened on the 6th. Looking through the meeting minutes, there was only 4 properties listed that we approved.
thought we did more than that.
Meeting minutes, because I just flipped back and just saw there's only 4 that we're going to contract with.
When Greg came on, we added the beach right. I do know we added the beach rights.
Yep.
To Emerald and,
But I don't see Simmons Court on there.
and then we added Simmons that night too. Yeah. Yeah, that was added that same
Okay, so it
night.
just never made it into the meeting minutes.
That must be it because, yeah, we
It
did
was-
discuss those other ones.
Yep, we did. And I can't remember whether or not that was in non-public or not.
We had Chestnut, Simmons.
Not Chestnut,
Yes, we did.
Baird Chestnut.
Oh,
A lot at the top.
No,
you know what?
Highland. That's Highland.
That's Highland?
Yep.
I actually
Oh,
have,
Chestnut, Highland.
Highland,
The 4
right.
that listed are Emerald Lane, High
Oh.
Street, Highland Avenue, and Ashland.
I have the, yeah, so I have the ones that he brought.
Yep.
So that, so it was High Street.
Yep.
And Simmons Court. And Ashlot Drive.
Emerald.
Those are the ones. Yep.
And then we added
Then
Emerald.
we added, yep, we added
Well, it
Emerald
should be 5,
for
right?
the
Right.
beach
So
rights. Yep.
on the meeting minutes, and the only one that's missing is Simmons Court.
As Simmons, right.
That's all.
There you go. Okay. Selectman Dossman, you are up.
Trying to kind of catch up. Do we have any word on when they're going to start the work on the trough?
No, I don't have any information on that.
I'm just, because I was driving by them. The annuals I left in there. Public Works is going to empty it. Is that the process?
We can find out. Scott was out of town. He'll be back on Monday, and I think he was the one
I think that's what Scott had,
managing
I
that.
thought so. I'm just,
they were going to be
the
empty.
annuals, I mean, they can be dug out anytime.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they're still living after some of the frost, but that shouldn't hold them up. I'm also concerned because as we get closer to freeze, they're not using concrete, they're using mortar, but it's still not a good thing for it to freeze. And where are we with the FEMA? We got one report on one area of that FEMA floodplain map, but there are a lot of brooks that dump into the Winnipesaukee River all along our stretch that need to be looked at to see if there are any, problems. So is anybody looking at that? Probably not.
I would have to check with Scott.
Okay.
Scott would,
So,
he was the one working on that.
so I did, Catherine, just, we did have a Lakes Region Planning Commission meeting. It was actually here. And they did have a presentation from members of that group. So I have contact information, and I was actually going to reach out to them to ask them kind of what's been going on, where are we at, because they were more than willing to talk to us. There's 2 people in that office that deal with this. So I can get more information on it. The meeting was just a few days ago, I believe. Yeah. So, and I can get more resources on that updated stuff as well. They provided us with updated stuff as well on the overlay, and it's 2020. They had the map up, and it was for our area, Belknap County. I think it was 2020. They were 2026 is when the new look at the map, but it'll be more detailed in the 2026 overlay. And there is maps on that website that show the older historical map, and then you can click on some stuff and it puts the new map right over it to show you the difference.
That's
of
what we need
everything.
to look at.
Yep. So, yeah, I can actually I can get with you to navigate through that and we can look at it. It was, I was like, okay,
That's a
Right.
challenge.
yeah, it was, I will say it was, yeah, technically savvy.
Do we have any news on our bridge repairs? Often when you take something that old and you bring it to a site and you start looking at it, there's like, oops, oops, oops. Change
No,
orders?
no, actually, we're waiting on them to develop the specifications that we have to supply to
No news is good news.
the federal government, but they're not there right now to take a look at it anyway. So, right. Nothing negative. Let me put it that way.
And I asked about this before. We need someone to look at the town and give us an economic impact on the town for new dwelling units. You know, how's that going to affect us, our taxpayers? What's already proposed is going to, it's going to have some kind of economic impact on us. It has to because the number of them. But those that could come after will also have an impact. But we don't know what that is. I mean, how much building do we allow in the town of Tilton for dwelling units before it hurts us?
So I would imagine as you have money in the budget for the master plan and for land use consulting, that maybe that would be in conjunction with that.
That's why I bring it up. I mean, if we can find somebody to do that study, we can encumber it.
Right, right. And that's exactly right, because we need something in writing. We need something that we can contract with. Yep.
Tilton's a small community. Those legislative changes will have a pocketbook effect on our taxpayers.
Mhm.
Yeah, oh, I agree completely. I think that that's definitely something we probably should look more into. I mean, the conversations that we had with that I was forwarding from uh, yeah, Nate from the bureau there.
That was helpful.
It was helpful, but I think there is. He did say that there are processes that we can go through to
Right.
to
I mean,
get
I
those
don't know
type
if
of
that's
studies
something
done.
MRI would do or does. Keach Nordstrom, if that's something they would do.
Eventually, it's going to have a negative impact.
Oh, it definitely is. And I think it's coming right along. Like I said, we have less than 4,000 people living in town. People think we're a wealthy community because of all the commercial, but that commercial comes with a huge expense. I'm sure the chief can attest to that.
Mhm.
These dwelling units in Great Mouse in one area, fire, police, ambulance, school. Anyway, so could we check with MRI and Kitchen Nordstrom and see if that's something they would do with us and maybe get some proposals from them?
Yep. And there may be others that that do specifically that that maybe we'll learn about.
Yeah. I'll work with Scott and Tim to try to see what we can come up with.
That'd be awesome.
I will,
All right, thank you.
and then
That's
I'll report back.
all I got.
Okay. Only thing I have was right on Caleb Hill Road. I had a couple neighbors reach out to me, and I honestly didn't notice it until just a few weeks ago. There is a culvert that is definitely, I think, under some duress. It's right almost across the street from my driveway. And so I reached out to Scott. He reached out to District 3. They were going to go up, look at it. I think they were supposed to go today, look at it, and try to shore it up a little bit, but, and then come up with a plan. I think what's going to have to happen is that culvert itself is going to have to be replaced. It's according to someone, the bottom of the culvert is all like rotted out. So
So it's collapsing.
yeah, yeah. And it is now right up to the edge of the roadway on one side. And you can see that's really washed out. So I was concerned if we
On the
do,
bottom of your driveway?
yeah, just before it. So if you're
Okay.
coming from town,
Mm-hmm.
if you're coming from Colby and Clark Road, it's just before our driveway on the left, right before the mailboxes. And some of our neighbors mentioned it. And so hopefully District 3 was able to get out there today because it right now up against the roadway and you can see like,
That's
So-
definitely something we want to make sure that they get after because you don't want to go into spring with a collapsed culvert.
yeah,
It's just around, maybe 8 or 9 years since they did the work over there,
Mhm.
where they took where they took the large culvert, not the large culvert, the large, stone, 2 pieces of very large stone out of the middle of the road. You remember when the residents came to town hall and wanted us to do something about Caleb Hill because the buses had to go on the opposite side of the road because there was stone in the middle of the road and it, so on and so forth. And Jeannie had Executive Council Kenny, we had the Senator Jeannie Forster, so on and so forth. And then we walked that road and the commissioners, when they took that out, it was just a Band-Aid at the time. And they said to us 10 years that there would be residual effect from here, which is about maybe 50 yards or not even that, 25 yards from where they took the stone out to where
Okay.
you're talking about.
yeah, okay.
And then it would kind of just fall into place.
Yep.
9 or 10 years down the road's going to fail. And that's how it would play out. Gave us 9 or 10-year effect.
Well, it's going to continuously have infrastructure failure
Right.
because they haven't done any maintenance on it.
But
It's not our road. We don't maintain it.
Right.
Years they have done no maintenance.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think they will.
Yeah, I think obviously my biggest concern is, there's a lot of traffic on the road
Mhm.
that buses. That is one of my biggest concern is that if that road collapses right there.
Mhm.
So, you can definitely tell it's getting washed out. And I was concerned with the heavy rain and stuff we're supposed to get tomorrow and whatnot. So yeah,
Well, you're going to start having oil trucks.
Yes, yep, that's right.
Boom.
Yeah, and that would be
Keep
Okay.
on it.
yeah, yes. So I followed up today with Scott, and they were supposed to go up there today
Mhm.
to assess it
Yep.
and see what they come back with a game plan.
Right. Good.
We should make sure our public works director is aware of it, even though it's not our responsibility. He should be aware.
Yeah, I can shoot him an email.
We have to plow the road, so
Yeah, it's a heavy truck.
no surprises.
Oh, that's all I have. Yes.
And what was
Oh,
property?
rents, rents.
I can cover that.
15 minutes?
Okay. Yeah, are
Okay.
you guys good with that? Okay. All right. Let me that up.
You're all set, Zach, right? Yeah, I just want to make sure that you don't need us for anything. We're going to go into non-public and then come back out. You need us for a few minutes, like 5 minutes before we open up the public hearing? Okay. Okay. On it, okay. Got it. As long as we're back about 5 minutes off for the public hearing.
Okay. So
Make a motion, we go into non-public per RSA 91A:3.
I have an A and a C. Yep.
Okay.
I'll second.
Constantino, yes.
Hanson, yes.
Dawson, yes.
Adams, yes. The C one right now.
before, where here in the town of Rye, they decided that today, October 30th, would be its designated day for trick-or-treating, which means when the weather is gray like this, it's not going to stop trick-or-treaters from and their families from coming out. And with a little rain expected to come in later tonight, the town decided that it would change what time trick-or-treating would be. So it would move up both the start and the wrap time up by an hour, which means that trick-or-treating is going on right now, and it'll wrap up in just about a half an hour, around 6 o'clock. Town officials say the idea is so that families are able to keep up the trick-or-treating, or the tradition of trick-or-treating, I should say, today, while also still being able to enjoy the experience before the weather changes for the worse. And we spoke with dozens of kids and their families tonight, and they say rain or shine, they are just happy to be here.
The rain was predicted to focus primarily on the evening hours, so we thought we could bump it an hour ahead of the original proposed time to be 4 to 6 o'clock. And that way we were prioritizing the safety of all the participants and trick-or-treaters.
And because Mother Nature can be a little unpredictable, the Board of Selectmen here in Rye are proposing a new warrant article that wouldn't get rid of trick-or-treating on October 30th, but it would allow town leaders to make a rain date if one is needed. We're live here in Rye. Maria Wilson, WMUR News 9.
Okay, Maria, thank you. And for a full list of trick-or-treat times and updates, you can visit our website, WMUR.com, or the WMUR app.
One person has died after a fire there on Sunday. 59-year-old Warren Haynes was taken to Massachusetts General Hospital with serious burns, where he died yesterday. His cause and manner of death are pending. Officials say the fire was contained to one unit in a 6-apartment building. That fire's cause is under investigation.
Commitment coverage now, and even as the White House pushes for mid-decade congressional redistricting in red states, those efforts appear to be losing momentum here in New Hampshire. As WMUR political director Adam Sexton reports, one key Republican in Concord is saying there's no point in taking action when the governor is not on board.
In this heated environment, I don't want to take on this battle unless the path is clear. Right.
Representative Ross Berry, mapmaker-in-chief of New Hampshire House Republicans, says he'd love to bring back his I-93 corridor redraw, the 1st and 2nd congressional districts, but he says Governor Kelly Ayott's opposition to revisiting the issue and the state Senate's recent withdrawal of a redistricting bill for next year are making any changes unlikely.
You got to have the House, the Senate, and the governor, right? So if those three align, then we can go. But if they don't, there's no point doing it. There's no point in expending political capital to do this if it can't actually be done.
Berry says he doesn't like this push for mid-decade redistricting, but believes it makes sense here in New Hampshire because the legislature never passed a congressional map. The state Supreme Court drew the current version following Governor Chris Sununu's veto in 2022. Democrats say this current nationwide push is a pure power grab.
There's absolutely no reason mid-cycle to be doing redistricting other than partisan motives.
For now, it appears the only redistricting bill left will be in the House next year. Representative Berry says he'll fast-track it to ensure clarity on this issue as quickly as possible.
I am going to take it up in election law the very first week, because it's got to be done fast. Like, regardless of what happens, it has to be done fast.
In Concord, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
More arrests made in connection with the Little Heights, now bringing the total to 7 people.
Plus, disturbing images coming out of Sudan as watchdog fighters are committing a genocide.
After rainy and breezy night, what's going to follow for Halloween and on weekend? That's coming up.
Every corner of the Granite State, kindness takes root, growing in food drives, toy collection, neighborhood cleanup, and in the hearts of everyday heroes. I'm Catherine Underwood. Join us Sunday morning at 10. Spotlight the full project, partnerships, make life, turn home.
With Catherine Underwood, Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. only on WMUR, and stream free on Very Local. When storms strike, the seconds matter. Introducing the driving force in severe weather coverage. WMUR Storm Tracker. The most advanced weather technology on your road.
Taking you inside the storm in real time.
Preparing you for what's coming next and helping you stay fit.
With street level accuracy,
You here for the new Franklin? Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Me too.
No, I'm a resident in Tilton.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with the, I'm with the management company for.
Is concerned. That's what I'm saying, is, make the rent
Give it a few minutes. When we come out and on, I'll talk for a few. We can start the. I'll give you the floor once.
Is that information?
And I wrote on there. I wrote in the meeting. He chose that we're not to say those.
Make a motion, we seal the minutes so the non-public as the means, the ends justify the means.
Aye.
Aye.
Right. We're take a few minutes. You can go ahead if you want to just. Click the button.
Good evening. My name is Zach Branscombe
You
from.
gotta push it down a little bit towards you, Zach.
Good evening. Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. My name is Zach Branscombe. I work for the Department of Safety, Division of Emergency Services and Communications, or New Hampshire 911. I'm here for the public hearing in just a few minutes. Generally, when we participate in these, they're an excellent opportunity for the select board involved in one of these projects to hear the direct impact and perceived issues that may arise with these address changes. And it's also an excellent opportunity to hear concerns that may be able to be addressed ahead of time. One great example is an issue with HUD was raised with this particular property. Pat was able to reach out to HUD and talk to them and make sure that we weren't expecting any complications, and we have a plan going forward to make sure the information is shared to them so that they can update their records more easily.
Okay.
And so other things may come up that things that we can do to defray the impact on the residents.
Okay.
Generally speaking, a lot of questions come up about other options and that sort of thing. I'm just interested in how much you would like me to step in and answer questions from your residents versus having them being aimed at the select board.
Okay.
So,
As far as the board goes, are we okay if we get questions from residents to have him step in using his expertise? Okay. Yeah. Yep. So you can sit right there at the table if you want with us.
Sounds great. I can have a mic and everything. I do have these brochures. They answer some of the frequently asked questions with address changes for
Okay.
residents. I tailored it just for this project to deal directly with HUD and to highlight that, hey, it was the duplicate nature of the addressing that kind of triggered this review and
Okay.
recommendation. So as you have residents come in, they can take these. I'd like to give them to you as well, just so
Okay.
you can review them.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. If you just want to pass them, you can just pass them right down. That's fine.
Huh?
Take one and pass it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your name at the top.
All right. Time being 6:02. I am going to open up the public hearing on the renaming of 380 West Main Street to Foundation Drive.
So for the purposes of people that are online and not here at the public hearing, there are 64 apartments at 380 West Main Street currently. And the October 16th meeting, the select board named the street going in as 380 West Main Street to Foundation Drive. We're here tonight for a public hearing as to how that will affect the residents. Hopefully, we'll have some come in.
Okay. We do have, looks like one online. So if the one online right now, if she wants to ask a question or anything, you can come off mute. Nope. Okay.
Like I can give an overview of the project to anybody.
If you would, yeah, might as well, right?
Absolutely.
That and
So this project came to our office's attention with the request to add originally 2 units, now 4, to one of the buildings that are known or addressed as 380 West Main Street in Tilton. Upon review, I identified one of our standards, which is that each addressable structure should have its own unique address to aid in emergency responses. And at the time, the facility did not meet that standard. These standards are set forth by NINA as well as New Hampshire 911, NINA being the National Emergency Number Association. So I proposed a possible alternative addressing scheme or setup that would more easily allow your responders to locate the people that they were looking for in an emergency. It's admittedly a big change as it affects 60 residents, which is significant. However, the motivation behind making a change at this point is that the driveway that currently serves 380 West Main Street will likely never be less occupied than it is now. And the longer a non-standard addressing situation persists, the more likely it is that emergency response could run into a navigation issue with it. I have full faith in the responders within Tilton that they know this area quite well. However, it's our stance that non-standard addressing situations should be remedied whenever possible, because the more of them that exist, the more likely it is that there's going to be some sort of delay related to the addressing. Additionally, with mutual aid agreements, there are often, or at least sometimes, responders coming from other communities who will not be as familiar with the area. And so a standardized and instinctive addressing schema tends to be much more beneficial when you have guest responders helping out when yours are responding to an emergency somewhere else. I believe we were looking at dates. We recommend a rather long layup for any addressing projects, at least 30 days notice from the decision to move forward until the effective date. However, with the oncoming holiday season, it seems prudent to delay that start date until January 14th, which is my recommended date. This would allow, holiday deliveries and all of the visits and what have you to not be impacted by any address changes. And then after the holiday season, you would enact them, and then less of a
Great, thank you. Yes. Yes. Open up to the public. Anybody want to step up?
Well, you got to go up to the mic.
Hold on 1 second, Steve. We're going to get you a mic.
Check, check.
Yep.
Good evening. My name's Stephen O'Leary. I live on School Street. I just have a quick question. The way the notice came out, I thought it was going to have all of West Main Street as, what is it? The Founder Drive.
Yep.
Foundation.
Foundation Drive.
Is that going to be the whole
Yes.
street?
So no.
No.
So I did have. I'm glad you bring it up. So I did have some residents reach out to me because they were confused. They also thought that that West Main Street as a whole was going to
Right.
be
Mhm.
all the neighbors on that residents on that road, that their numbers were going to change.
Right.
So I contacted our finance director and our town administrator, and they put out, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong. I had them do an amendment on that notice just to kind of clarify it a little bit more. So yeah, I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, that's the only notice I saw, and
And
that's why.
and to be honest with you, Steve, I didn't read the notice when it came out. So I had some neighbors reach out to me and they're like, why is my address changing on West Main Street? And I'm like, so I read the notice.
It was not only updated to be very specific to the residents of 380 West Main, and then also put on Facebook, put back on the web, on the website, and then posted. So
Yeah, so we did
we
correct
did
that.
Okay.
And glad you brought it up. It
okay.
was a little confusing in the beginning.
Okay, is the new road going to be named? Is it going to be maintained by the town, or is it private? Still going to be private?
Still
Okay.
private. Yes.
That's all the questions I have.
All right, great. Thanks, Steve.
I was concerned. All right. Thank you.
Chief, you want to hand the mic over to this gentleman? You could just identify yourself.
Hi,
Thank
my
you.
name's Steve Donahue. I'm representing McCore Tilton Associates, the owner of New Franklin Apartments. And we just wanted to kind of present an idea, if you'd be willing to hear it, about instead of readdressing the entire property, kind of just readdressing 12 of the apartments to be consistent with how the entire property is addressed now, instead of affecting 64 residents that already are having a hard enough time dealing with getting their mail and just dealing with life in general, being elderly. I think it's going to be a really tough thing to change this. And I just would like you to see an idea we have that I think would be a lot simpler, if you'd be willing to see it.
guys okay with that while we're in the public? That's what I don't want to do, is confuse the public hearing.
Understood. It's kind of just our last ditch effort to like just present the idea that I don't think we really were able to relay properly.
Can
I think
I
it,
can I just ask roughly how long do you think it would take for you to present something?
5 minutes.
Okay. So after we close the public hearing,
Mhm.
we'll take a few minutes and
Sure.
we can hear you out.
Okay.
And this way, if you'll stick around as well, I'd appreciate it for a few minutes.
I really do want to correct him. It was heard very well. It was listened to very well. It was not the easiest or not the most consistent way to do it. Thank you.
Okay.
For the record.
And I don't see anyone else online. How long do you usually keep it? Think anyone heard any from any residents or
I
anything that
heard that the notices that we put up were taken down.
oh, okay. Kind of strange. Okay. Well, let me see, it's 6:13 now. I'll give it to 6:20. So about 7 more minutes. And then if nobody else online, or if anybody jumps in online or anybody comes in, we'll entertain listening, okay? Please.
Yeah, it kind of works on both levels. So Tilton on the whole is addressed very well, as in the addresses are adequately spaced, adhering to our distance-based standards, and they generally follow, the 3 or more structures on a driveway has a named road. Um, to my knowledge, there aren't very many duplicate address numbers left in the town. I understand there was a large initiative a number of years ago to correct a number of the more serious non-standard situations. But with any town, there's going to be situations that existed prior to 911 and the standardization getting involved. And at the time, I suspect, and this is a suspicion, but that the addressing was not severely off of the standards enough to warrant the imposition. And as you move forward with new development and new addresses coming into the town, I work with Pat and Cindy in the Tilton offices. They let us know about new addresses so that we can add them to the maps. And periodically, you run into a situation where those non-standard addresses butt up against what you would like to add for new addresses. And in those situations, an assessment has to be made of like, hey, what's the most efficient way that we can get this as close to standard without massive readdressing projects. Yeah, absolutely.
The addresses, um, wouldn't it make more sense to have your building 1 and have the regular numbers down than building 2 start off with another set of numbers? The way this looks right now, it's each building has the same numbers of the units. And wouldn't that confuse the fire department? Or if we had building 1 It's, everything will be with one at the beginning, building 2 will be with, wouldn't that make more sense?
Yeah, that's
I'm
definitely.
going to let him answer that, Steve, okay?
Thank you. No, I understand where you're coming from on that solution. Our standards derive building numbers from the distance down the road. It's more difficult to see on a very small scale here, but on a much longer road, what can happen is if you have a ambulance driver or a police officer coming down the road, dark of night, rain, snow, by giving it a number that's based on the distance down the road, they know about where to start looking, so where they can slow down. Okay, so that's why our building numbers aren't 1, 2, 3, 4. Additionally, by providing this distance-based addressing, you leave room for future development. Addressing doesn't go bad. It's not
Yeah.
gonna rot. It's not gonna deteriorate over the years. So what we're looking at here, 50 to 100 years from now, could still be the addresses for these structures, and there may be others around it. With a 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of sequential addressing, you would end up having to readdress to make more numbering room for these buildings.
Okay.
And onto your point about the units, we look at the address as a kind of both parts together, both the street address, which would be, for example, 19 Foundation Drive, and the sub address, which is their unit designation. So what these unit designations do that different sets of designations wouldn't do. First off, all the ones that are, you'll see they're 205, 206, 203, 204, like that. That tells your responders that they're going to be on the second floor. And by repeating the unit numbers, that shows about where on the building they need to pull up to. If you say, okay, well, it's 101, that tells them it's going to be the first unit on the bottom floor. And by having that level of consistency, you maybe only save 5 seconds every 10 calls, but here and there you
It
might
adds
get
up. It adds
you
up.
might get a really important 5 seconds.
Right.
And that seems worthwhile to us.
All right. Thank you.
Notice this does include the red text that says not official until accepted by the town.
All right. Time being 6:20. So I am going to close the public hearing. All right.
We're not an authoritative body on this. So yeah, absolutely. So if the designated liaison, right, that's you, who's been designated by the town to do the addressing, really all you have to say is, yes, we had a public hearing and then we voted to make these changes effective on such and such date. And then we'll go through the paperwork process of it. So our office would need, I sent you this earlier. This is the one-to-one address conversion. It is not done yet because I haven't done my 5th, 6th, or 7th checks to make sure all of these match correctly. But once this is complete and verified by my office and your office, then we would have you sign it and return it to us, and we would slate the changes to happen both in the phone records and the E911 mapping. On your side, the town would be responsible for sending out notices to the residents individually, as well as utility providers, dispatch agencies, local emergency response.
Yeah.
Anybody who might be interested.
All right.
You don't need a motion from us right now, from the governing body here.
No. The only thing in order to comply with 231-133 is to hold the public hearing, and then after the public hearing to vote at some point to make the change.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna open it up now for public comment. So if you have public comment and you'd like to, yeah, if you want to bring the, sure, yeah.
This is currently how the property sits.
Okay.
So you have building one.
Hold on 1 second. We just want to give you a mic
Yep.
so it can be recorded.
Sure. So currently, right now, it's building one.
Can you just state your name again?
Yes,
Sorry.
Steve Donahue from McCore, the owner of Tilton,
All right.
New
Thank
Franklin.
you. Yeah.
So building 1, building 2, building 3, building 4, building 5. They're all numbered, 1 through 12, 13 through 24, all the way around back to building 5. Is currently only addressed up to 60. So we added 4 apartments in this building right here. So what we're proposing is to simply just readdress this building right here, make these 49 through 52, and then just continue on the way it always has been, 53 through 64, and just readdress these 12 residents and not affect the other residents here.
I do have a question because I know there was discussion down the road. So let's say down the road, there's development further back, right? So let's say your company decides we're going to add units, right?
Mhm.
How would you, if you have if you're driving down the driveway on the left-hand side, if you have those numbers higher, how would you number anything behind that? You know what I mean? So I don't know if that question came
Yeah,
up.
no,
yet,
yeah,
but-
no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, no, I think if something large like that was going to happen, it would definitely be something that we would want to do, but I don't think it's anything we're planning on doing in the near future. And I think that would put us in a better position to notify the residents, give them some more time to adapt to this versus just being like, hey, January 14th, we're going to start this process to change the address of 64 people when really only just these 12 could be affected. I think if we're going to do a large development or add more units, 100% it makes sense to go forward with this. But I think for just adding 4 apartments, I think it's a tall task. I mean, we're talking about readdressing fire alarm systems. We're talking about new signage. There's a lot of things that have to happen to make this flow. All the pull cords in the units have to be readdressed, renumbered. It's a large undertaking. It's not just as simple as changing somebody's address. And you have Meals on Wheels. You have Social Security payments, you have tracks. The track system runs through HUD how they receive their payments. If we change the address, tracks has to be notified, property management system has to be redone, and then that has to be approved by HUD and tracks. So all their voucher payments will be held up. Could be 90 days. Who knows now with the government shutdown? When we give them that information, how long it'll take to input. So there's a lot of other things besides, changing the address is going on here. But our biggest concern really is just the residents. Like changing your address is not an easy thing to do, let alone doing it for someone who has little resources already. So that's the owner just wanted me to come tonight just to express our concern with not only renumbering the whole property, but really it's going to affect our residents in a negative way.
No, it does not, unfortunately. Even without the addition of the 4 units on your building 4, even without the addition of those 4 units, our office would still hold the recommendation that the duplicate addressing be eliminated. So each of those should have their own unique street address.
So if those 4 units were never added, this still would have happened?
I don't know if it would have come up in conversation or I would have our office would have noticed it. I suspect that we have a letter to Tilton from some point in the past that says this particular area does not meet our standards. We recommend a readdressing project. Usually once we send that letter, we kind of leave it alone. We said, hey, we've notified the town and it's up to them at this point to decide how to proceed. But just through working together, because this came up, looked at it and said, hey, I don't have a good solution for just the sub-addressing. What I do have is what our standards would recommend for the complex.
Is that because you have a driveway that accesses 3 or more buildings?
Yes, that's correct. Well, yes, and so there's two different kind of standards that we are not adhering to here. The first, you're absolutely correct, is the driveway, that any driveway that serves 3 or more structures should receive a road name, and each structure should receive its own unique address. This is to avoid web driveways, or the way that our addressing system works. The address in of itself is a map, and once you start having multiple structures on a single driveway, the address no longer tells you exactly where that structure is. Additionally, the other standard is every addressable structure should have its own unique numerical address. So even if all of these 5 buildings were, say, lined up right against West Main Street, right? They're not being served by the same driveway there. We would still recommend a change because they would all still be 380 West Main Street. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And I will say, if I can, I may not necessarily be able to endorse or agree with your proposals, but I would be really interested to hear the ways you think this addressing change would affect your residents if it goes through, because we do have at least some time before this goes live. And I'd like to be able to look for solutions to defray some of the more serious impacts.
I have a question for you. The items that you just listed off, whether it be changing the pull cords and all that kind of stuff, I assume that's a cost that's borne by your company.
Correct, yes.
So that
Yep.
does have some bearing in.
And also, just like the way it's numbered now, all the numbers are above all the doors, and then there's numbers on all the doors. So now to add another number to the building and then redo all of those numbers and all the units, it's just, and it seems a little redundant to me on the new mapping. I think some people will get confused as to where they're going. I think it's easy for 911, but I don't think that addressing is easy for an elderly demographic to try to navigate.
Have these addresses in the individual buildings changed at all since that was built in what, the 70s?
No. Except Maycor is the one that initiated turning an office into an apartment.
Well, I know you're adding, but the existing, those addresses have remained the same for what, 50 years?
And it's the same of the property that we have in Franklin, which is the same exact layout, and 121 Main Street in Franklin, same thing, same numbering system. Damie Drive, same numbering system. It's all identical. They're all since the 70s.
They've created or trying to create 4 new apartments in the middle.
This section right here. Which the 2
We've held up
here
2
are already
building
occupied.
permits.
Is that what flagged this
Yes,
address change?
correct. They've taken out their offices and made apartments.
I would almost think that a property that's been in use for this long, same addresses, changing them all would take our fire chief, ambulance, police, some getting used to. Oh, an interesting quandary.
All right. Anybody else have any questions?
HUD is very much aware of this quandary. They've
Thank
been
you.
notified.
All right. I don't see any other online that wants to say anything. Okay. All right. Close the public comment. All right. Yep. So before we adjourn, we had something that was mailed to the town, and it's in regards to one of the properties that we've been discussing for sale. So I am going to read a petition that was written.
Excuse me,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, don't, because the town clerk, tax collector's office was closed due to them being on a conference, correct me if I'm wrong, Catherine, I don't believe we can call it a petition until they've checked the names and
It's a petition, but whether the names are valid,
usually has to
if they're residents, I mean,
check.
the
Right.
petition doesn't have any legal value because they're not looking for a petition warrant article, something. They're just giving us a list of people who are agreeing to this.
Okay.
Got it.
We can, when she comes back, I would be interested to know.
So I'm going to scratch
If these-
saying the word petition.
Well, no, it's a
It is a
petition.
It is a
petition,
petition.
right?
It is a petition, but I would be interested to know if they were all residents, legal residents of the town of Tilton.
All right. So I'm just going to read the body and stuff of
Yeah.
the form. It says to the town, to the Tilton Board of Selectmen, from the neighbors of High Street Extension, map number U079-1, date of 10/30/2025. Subject land for sale, MLS number 5067111. Dear Board of Selectmen, we, the neighbors of High Street Extension, would like to bring to the board's attention that the recent property listings from BHHS Varney Belmont, MLS number 5067111, for the land parcel U079-1 contains incorrect information. The description is not what it seems. The address is incorrect. The pictures are deceptive, and the price seems to be embellished for marketing purposes. Also, there is no easy way to find the property description on the town's website. The town of Tilton, although as the posting states that all interested parties are to rely solely on their own due diligence of the property, should have marked the actual area for sale. Has the town been transparent in noting the land is not a buildable lot, given certain building and zoning restrictions? Has the town considered placing a conservation easement on the land since there has been an ongoing interest concern for not developing the property and keeping it green space like the Wakefield corridor? Question: How will the offers be decided? How does the town have 1 week before accepting an offer on the property to allow any and all interested parties to have been noticed and act? Will there be any options for negotiations? We ask the board for serious consideration of this matter and of the recent petition submitted to Save the Field. Then back is should I say I'll read it. It says to the town of Tilton Board of Selectmen, petition to save the field, location U079-1, action to be taken. Cancel the sale of the land at U079-1, 91 High Street Extension, Tilton, New Hampshire, 03276. Field not to be developed, to be saved as conservation land or offered at a reasonable price to the two abutters who had previously come before the Board of Selectmen. We, the undersigned neighbors of 91 High Street Extension, U079-1, are calling on the Tilton Board of Selectmen to cancel the sale of the land and save the field. A local contractor has confirmed it is not a buildable lot. There are also several and certain building restrictions for that parcel. The property was owned by Clarita Canyon. Clarita Cannon, a Boston Post cane recipient, until her passing age of over 100 years when the family sold the property. The property was purchased and the field was subdivided. Unfortunately, the owner faced foreclosure on both parcels. The town took the subdivided property by tax deed in 2015. That parcel was auctioned, and the winner backed out of the deal, losing his deposit. The second awarded bidder declined, so the town was able to keep the deposit. Cedar Street abutter, actually third bidder, had offered cash in hand several times prior to the original auction and who had met with the Board of Selectmen. Unfortunately, they were not granted the right to purchase the lot. Their intention was to purchase the lot, add it to their parcel, and place an easement on the property so the field would never be developed. It is considered by the abutters and other residents of the Tree Street neighborhoods to be a wildlife corridor for deer, bear, fox, and other natural wildlife. Okay. You want me to read all the?
No, I wouldn't read the names until we find out.
Oh, wait, there is more about, yeah. There is a little, every spring, Mrs. Canyon would offer a generous donation to the fire department where the neighbors would gather to enjoy watching the controlled burn of the field, which allowed the growth to rejuvenate for its beauty. Serious consideration should be granted to this petition due to the bad judgment previously acknowledged by the abutters who only want to save the field. Okay. All right. Anybody have any other business? Okay. Somebody want to make a motion?
I have a question. Do we
okay.
want to consider selling it to the people that want to buy it in the neighborhood? And if we do, I would suggest that we have Tim give us the cost of what we have spent on this property so far.
Okay.
And then come up with a price to offer to them.
Okay.
I would like to see the list of, monies that we've spent so far, hours. et cetera.
Interest.
It's past the 10-year mark. Does it include the
It can if we want it to. I don't know. I mean, without seeing, what it is.
I mean, it'd be worth a look.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
I'm just saying, informational wise, look at it.
I just think every property that the town owns should be open to every resident, not a
To
select
what?
few. Open to any other person that wants to buy it. I don't think it should be just excluded to the residents or the nearby residents.
That is a good point.
Well, the law allows us to do that, to make that consideration. I'm just saying, I personally think the property needs to get back on the tax rolls regardless of who owns it.
Just because we can do it doesn't mean we have to do it or should do it. I think everybody has that
I
same
agree.
right to purchase it.
I certainly don't want the town to continue to own it and have the liability and maintenance responsibility of it and not getting any taxes for it.
And also, I think the town should get whatever the fair market value is, which is determined by highest bidder.
Any other discussion? You had something, Tim?
No, I was just going to say I can prepare that that listing of what we have in that property. It's been a while since I updated it. Yep.
Okay. All right. Look into that. Any other? Okay. All right. Any other discussion? What do you want to make a motion?
Motion to adjourn? I don't think I've ever done that.
I'll second.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Did we take care of all the non-publics?
No, I don't
Already?
think so.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. So motion. Yep. That's right. That's right.
And I do believe we have to take an action on the 911. We
Not-
had the public hearing. Now we have to decide if we're going to go forward with Foundation Drive or not.
But we don't have to take that action up tonight.
No, we don't.
So, so
Especially since even if we were going to, it's not going to take effect until until next year.
But if we don't do it tonight,
But you're going to have 2 months, aren't you? I thought this wasn't going to take effect till after the holiday.
Do you want to put it on your meeting schedule for 11/6?
No. We should take care of the non-public first.
yeah. Yep. Yeah. I want to think about it for a few minutes. All right.
if we do that,
Well, for us, it's pretty much a yes, we want to go forward, or no, we don't, I think. I won't have any other questions. Will you have any other? I mean, so
well, if
with,
we don't
with
go
your,
forward, then we cannot.
Can't give them building permits?
We can't address it.
Yes, they do.
They do.
West Main Street. My question,
B or C?
well,
my question is the impact on the residents. You said that HUD was aware of this. Is there an impact from HUD? There is no impact.
They absolutely positively.
Okay.
It was stopped at
So the impact on the residents would be basically making the change of address to the various businesses, institutions, et cetera. How long will the post office recognize the address that they currently have now? So they have a year. Okay, so we're really looking at an inconvenience of changing address. It's okay, I'm good, thank you.
you want to, I'll make a motion and then we can second it. go into discussion.
I think
if you
Pat
want.
would like to get it taken care of, and I don't see any reason why to prolong it, so. What is the motion? The motion is to go forward and accept the, and change the new address. Give West, I see, I can't even think of what the wording is.
380 West Main Street,
380 West Main Street to Foundation Drive,
Foundation Drive. Yes.
accept the 911 change for 380 West Main Street.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yep.
Tim, make it sound good.
January 13th.
I closed my agenda up.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. All right. So we have a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, so we have a second. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. All right. Motion passes. So Zach, you're going to work with our land use coordinator to get all of that stuff taken care of. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So time being 6:47. Make a motion to go into non-public. Per RSA 91A:3, Section 2A, personnel. Dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee or disciplining of such employee or the investigation of any charges against him or her unless the employee affected, one, has a right to a public meeting, and two, requests that the meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. Is that the right one? Is that the one we were supposed to read?
Didn't know we had another non-public. I thought we were gonna, never mind. I'm good.
Yeah, no, we did have, right? Okay, so we have a motion. Second,
Constantino,
Hanson, yes.
Dawson, yes.
Adams, yes.
five minutes.
Pat requested one for an employee issue.
We haven't done that yet.
Yeah, that was, I actually, John had asked me that, what the plan was. And I wanted to ask you guys because I didn't know, I had only sat on a process. So I wasn't sure if it was the
So when
same.
we come back, we'll discuss that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Make a motion, we seal the minutes of the non-public as the ends justify the means. Still remain.
I'll second.
Aye.
Aye.
Jim, and there's one more thing that we need to bring up in the public session. We're missing one selectman, so we need to talk about how we're gonna either replace until March or just go with the 4 of us, which I don't think is a very good idea. So the process is we ask for letters maybe of intent, placing so selectmen. Mm-hmm. Yep. True, it does. Do you just want to get along with just the 4 of us till March?
Catherine, can you turn your mic on?
Nobody wants to hear me.
So we're about to November, so we have only a few months.
5 more months,
Yep.
budget season.
Meetings.
We have 4 months. November, December, January, February. Second Tuesday in March. It's done.
I'm okay with the 4. I mean, I don't know. I personally would feel like I would leave it up to the 2 of you as far as like what your thoughts are, because you guys know the process better. I mean, I went through the
And
process.
it's just that if we're ever in a
on with the
tie
process.
vote, that's the only thing that it interferes with is a tie vote because we're even.
Yeah.
That's the only thing really it would be.
Yeah.
And that's it. If we could try to come to a resolve and figure it out on our own, then it's a win-win situation.
I mean, for me, unless you had someone that's already been a selectman in Tilton that wanted to step in and just for the 4 months, I would consider that. But I'm not worried about tie votes. We're usually pretty on the same,
There haven't been
we're on the
any
same,
3-2 votes.
we're
have there?
usually on the
I don't
same
think there's
field.
Close.
Oh, not since I've been here.
Oh, yeah,
No.
there have been.
No, I mean, since.
It
Oh,
happens.
since,
I'm
oh.
sure it hasn't. But I'm-
And in 24, there was a period where there was a tie for about 5 weeks when we were doing a hiring.
What is the protocol if we are short and there is a tie? Is it just?
Oh, well,
It's
No resolution.
you bring it up again and hopefully you have more evidence to
plead
play
your
it the
case?
other way. I mean, I've been on the board. This was many years ago, but one of the selectmen abstained and the vote still was 2-2. I vote. Didn't go anywhere.
So
Well, thank you for bringing it up. I mean,
that's what you want to do, everybody?
I'm
I'm
fine.
okay with it. I mean, I think time's gonna go by quick. I think anyways.
All right. So be it. Okay.
I don't have anything else.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Have a good night, everyone.